Welcome to Moments with Marianne. I'm so excited to be introducing our first guest. I'm sure many of you have seen him on TV, and if you're so lucky as to be in the LA area, I'm sure you've spent some time with him. His name is Bill Phillips, and he's here today to talk to us about his new book, Expect the Unexpected, Bringing Peace, Healing, and Hope from the Other Side. So welcome to the show, Bill.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, what a joy it is to have you here. Okay, so everyone's talking about you, so of course I had to have you on the show and talk about your newly released book.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So I've got to ask, what was the inspiration for this book?
I really wanted people to understand the true nature of what a genuine psychic medium goes through, because there's been so many things in the media, and a lot of people are confused as to what we actually experience firsthand. So I really wanted to, and also it was a way for me to have this cathartic experience to releasing my own trauma from my childhood, which is really what was the catalyst for me discovering this ability and this gift. So I really wanted people to understand and sort of just to kind of demystify what they would think a psychic medium really looked like. I always had people expecting me to be like a 75-year-old woman, and so I really wanted to show people that, that anyone can have this gift, really. And what I found is that there usually was a point of trauma that happened in someone's world that brings them to that awareness of spirit around them, just this intuitive impression. And so for me, that happened to be my whole childhood. And I lost my mother when I was 14. And that is really when my world was shaken upside down, and she came to me, and my whole life changed in that moment, understanding really what spirit looked like, and also their purpose in our everyday life. So the purpose of the book really was to educate people, and to also, in doing so, to help heal some hearts along the way.
Well, I think you're 100% right, because when it does come to people thinking of psychic medium, there's this misconception that this person needs to be somebody who, has, kind of looks like a gypsy, has got a bowl, and, or someone who's, who's, lived on this planet a few years and maybe somebody else. And I like how you really opened it up. You opened up the conversation for people to explore their own spirituality and to really be able to say, well, hey, maybe some of this is, maybe I'm clairaudient. Maybe I have something, where I'm hearing things, where other voices in the spirit world where, maybe that pertains to me, and I could start developing this.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. It is a how-to guide in a sense through my experiences. A lot of people have felt similarly, like, oh, I've had that experience before, or I felt this before, or I've seen this before. So really it's a way of validating to everyone, through my experience, what maybe they've also experienced. And so they may also see that they're not crazy, that this is how intuition works, and we all have intuition, and just as a basic tool to help them sort of connect to the everyday signs around us, that spirit's always there.
Well, and I know that you talk about that you're clairaudient, and so can you explain to our listeners a little bit what that means and how you first came to this understanding? Like, I know you talk about how you would hear voices that are very similar to yours, and how you were able to differentiate that either. Like, I mean, we were talking a little bit before we got started. when I started my spiritual journey, it's like I would hear the voices, they sound exactly like mine. I'm like, oh, they're going to have to put me in a padded room. I'm losing my mind.
Exactly. And that is primarily how I hear it. And really what started this for me was my background was in music. and vocal performance. So I was actually training to be an opera singer at the time. And I found this correlation between the vibration of music and how that correlated with my senses as a channel. So what I found was that the vibration that music holds really does lift our energy, lifts our vibration to that point in which spirit can blend with us on that mind-to-mind level. And for me, yes, it is very common for me to hear what sounds like your conscience, your own voice being replayed back at you. So in the very beginning, it took a lot of trust because I was very doubtful of this. I thought my mind was playing tricks on me. I thought I was crazy. I thought I was making it up in my head. But the more that I kept trusting it and the more that I kept sharing it with people, their worlds were turned upside down by the evidence that came through that voice in our head, So it definitely took discipline and putting aside daily time for meditation and prayer just to really get in tune with that voice. But for everyone, though, because for some people, yes, they will hear their voice. It will tell them to turn left when they're supposed to turn right, or it'll tell them not to go on that date or whatever. But for many people, though, we experience intuition and we experience this phenomenon in many different ways, the different clairs that we have. So I actually talk about that in the book as well, that we all have ways of tuning in. For many people, clairvoyance is a big one, but many people also put it off as a coincidence. So that was also part of my reason for writing the book, was to show people that there's no such thing as a coincidence when it comes to this type of work. And the thoughts in our head that are being conveyed to us, that kind of come out of the blue, that have accuracy to them, are definitely being put there by spirit and by a higher self. So really, this for me took a couple of years of trial and error, really trying to decipher which was my stronger of these senses. And I came to realize that they all really do have a function when I'm channeling spirit. But I feel mostly connected to my clairaudience and to my vision, to my clairvoyance, and I feel like they go hand in hand together.
Mm-hmm. And so what are some of the ways that during your journey that you've discovered that the spirit, world uses to connect with us here? I know you
that's a great question.
Bit ago.
Yes. There's so many different ways that spirit likes to communicate with the living in a physical shell. And a lot of times it's through things that would make sense to that person individually. So for me, I've had many experiences with my mom who's in spirit. I have it on a daily basis with her. And primarily from the very beginning, when I started to recognize her presence, I would see a white butterfly. And this became something that I said, okay, Mom, if that's really you better show me that white butterfly. And I would see it several times a day, so much so that I would have an experience with the butterfly touching my cheek and flying away and spiraling around me. And this has really become part of my everyday life, is that. So that's a huge one. Nature is a huge one. Also, music, vibration. Spirit loves to send messages through lyrics of songs, maybe you're driving on the road one morning thinking about your dad that you missed, and he was a, Johnny Cash fan, and all of a sudden your stereo turns on to, his favorite Johnny Cash song. So that's another way that spirit likes to communicate, is through music, and also just through the emotion of music and through the words of music. So it's really important to kind of be aware of what's happening around you, because your logical mind is going to always want to sort of shut down what you're experiencing. But if you kind of allow that to fall away and be aware on an intuitive level, you will pick up on the signs no matter what. So music's a huge one. Nature is a huge one. People have, found feathers on their doorstep that was very chilling to them and very telling of a presence around them. So there's so many different facets. A lot of times we've heard of pennies from heaven before, where we'll find random change that has our loved one's birth year on the penny, or their birth month on the penny. So it really just depends. It is on a case-to-case basis. License plates are a huge one. I see them all the time. And it's just my way of sort of getting a high five, from spirit. And especially in my case, I'm always looking for that validation around me. So it's just a matter of really being aware of your surroundings.
And I think people really want that validation when it comes to connecting with the spirit world. So it's kind of like, okay, I really am getting a message, from my Aunt Roz, or, someone who's passed that I really care about. And so it's nice to be able to know you can look for these signs, and they'll appear if you look for them.
Oh, absolutely. I always say when you ask, you shall receive. And especially with spirit, they're always trying to validate that they're around us, but sometimes we are in a deep state of grief, and we're not always on the same, level mentally as we need to be to really pick up on those symbols around us. So that's why mediumship is it's never a cure for grief, but it does show us that there is another world, there is a heaven that we go to, and that brings a tremendous amount of peace to us here, to have that revelation and that validation.
And to kind of branch out a little bit in regards to the music component, you have a CD called Journeys Within that people can get from your website. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, absolutely. This was something that I did early on. That was my way of trying to really help people hone in on that inner voice. So what I do, it's a 3-step system in which I go through the chakras in the first meditation. And, it's really important when we're open in that capacity spiritually. We're more open mentally, emotionally, physically to what's going on around us and inside of us. So this CD really was designed to help people tune in more to their own sense of intuition and their own sense of awareness. So that's the first track. The second track is meeting with your spirit guide. And again, it takes a lot of patience and a lot of surrender to the rational mind, because you're going to think that your mind's playing tricks on you, that you're making it up. But the more that you kind of practice it, the more you see the difference between our rational mind and our intuitive mind. So that's a great quality to focus on when you're trying to discover your own, innate gift. And then the third meditation is about meeting with your loved ones, and it goes up this beautiful elevator into a beautiful garden, and I use this a lot actually when I do my audience events around the country, and it really helps people get on the same level and release all the earthbound stuff that's kind of weighing them down, so that they're able to receive clear communication from spirit without having any kind of hindrance, lingering in between. So it's my way of giving back, so people can sort of be able to find that awareness on their own.
Well, I think it's another great resource, and highly suggest that everyone go and download their copy. It's available on iTunes. And so what are some of the things that along your journey that were unexpected, that you just didn't even think that was even going to be possible with the spirit world?
Yeah, I honestly, the whole journey I thought was just crazy. And from the moment that I found myself stumbling into this metaphysical shop and sort of being put to the test, that was a revelation for me that I thought, again, what am I doing here? And I thought I was just going crazy. But the evidence that came out of my mouth randomly to a complete stranger was what I needed to experience to truly know that that this was a gift from God and from Spirit, and it was coming from beyond me. And so the more that I kept practicing this, it was almost just like, putting a glove on it. It was natural. It was meant to be. I realize now in hindsight that it was, it is my calling, and it chose me in a very deep way. And for me, it was these revelations that I was receiving, these validations, after I spoke with somebody. Because even though Spirit was bringing through things presently during a reading, it was always afterwards, the things that maybe didn't quite make sense during that session that was a huge life changer, whether it be, a lost loved one, a long lost love returning, just really bizarre stories that revealed themselves. That was another huge validation that Spirit was present during that moment with me and the person that I was reading for. So I kept asking for the validation. Spirit kept providing them. And that really helped, alleviate this fear about not only becoming public with it, but releasing any kind of doubt about it, and just kind of having Spirit be my cheerleaders moving forward. So there's been so many experiences and so many moments. It's hard to keep track of them, but every time I get an email or a phone call or something to validate the experience, it just is a way that Spirit is showing me, job well done, good job. So and it's really priceless. There's nothing that you can put on that. It's just an amazing feeling that you've helped someone along their journey.
Well, and I know that you've been on Dr. Phil's show, and that your time there was really about helping people deal with grief and losing a loved one. And for some people, they may not even understand that that's a resource that's available to them. I know you book appointments. I mean, you do still now. You're going to be so busy you won't be able to have appointments at some point.
I know. It really is crazy. I'm basically booked out about 2 years close to that in advance. So I'm so grateful. It's overwhelming somewhat at times, but that's why I do my public demonstrations and my group readings all around the country, is to give everyone a chance to experience it firsthand. And I just love being in my element and in my zone when I do that. So it's quite a gift, and I'm just so grateful to share it with people.
Oh, well, we're grateful that you're spending this time here with us today. I mean, you're amazingly gifted, and I'm just overjoyed to have you here with us. When you are doing these, when you've done these huge audiences, these events for these huge audiences, do you see a kind of a pattern or some similar messages that are coming from the spirit world?
Every time, that's a great point. Every time I do an audience reading, there's usually a theme to who's coming through, whether it be like a whole, evening of dads coming through, or a whole evening of suicide coming through, or, alcoholics coming through to apologize. There usually does seem to be a theme. One thing that comes to mind that happened a couple of years ago, I was giving an audience reading, and usually I always say, when someone crosses over, to give them some time to get oriented over there, not only for you, but for them as well. And so we usually find that depending on the spirit, it can take, 6 months for them to make a clear connection. It could take a year. It could take a month. It really just depends. But there was this one particular audience that I did, and I had the whole time I was doing this, I had people that had died a week prior, even a day prior, coming through this loud and clear, and it was so just amazing to witness, because it really just shows you there's no rules to this. There's no book that says you must wait, X amount of time to come through. Spirit, they have no time, and if they were accelerated in their learning and they were ready to go truly, then they are ready to communicate. It just really depends on the person. It's a case by case study, case-by-case situation.
Yeah, well, and I agree with you completely. I mean, with there being no time on the other side, what takes us a day here or a week or a few months here, is really irrelevant to them in regards to their process on the other side. So they're ready when they're ready.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, for my mom, it took her 2 days to come back and show me that she had survived and that she was well. For some people, they don't have anything for several months, even over a year. So it just really depends on the person.
Well, and I know in your book you talk about, how breathing connects us to our higher self and to divine knowledge. Can you expand on that a little bit more? Like what that, just the whole, breath process? Because I know sometimes people get a little, when they either start meditation or start their spiritual practice, maybe there's not so much of emphasis on the breath itself.
Oh, yeah. And see, this was why it was so important for me to do my singing studies, because that was all based upon breath and breathing technique. And so that in itself as well also connected me in a deeper capacity. So yeah, our breath is truly our life force. You can think of it as your connection to the universe, really, and to your higher self, to spirit. When we take the time to really focus on the breath, especially the inhalation, the exhalation, what I realized is that on the inhalation, that's when the downloads start to come through from spirit, is when we are truly in this relaxed place where there's no stress around us. We've released all of that through our exhale. And the more that we focus on that inhale, exhale, the more our mind sort of goes into like an autopilot, in a way that it receives information very naturally and just very easily, effortlessly. It's when we hold our breath that connection is lost. And it doesn't mean that, only for a medium or an empath. I mean, this can be for a dentist. This can be for a lawyer presenting on a trial, because we're all channeling in our own right. But the breath and keeping it continuous is truly what keeps that ball rolling, really. So I always have to remind myself, every day still, keep the breath going, keep that exhale, inhale going, because that really is what, especially in my case, connects me to spirit.
Well, and you have such a profound connection to spirit, but also through music. It's kind of nice because a lot of people are very connected to music, and they can use that as the bridge as well.
Oh, yeah, and I highly encourage it. In fact, before I do any kind of public event, I'm always playing music that to me reminds me of spirit, or in which like they've shown me to play that will raise the energy of the group, and it always just leaves people feeling on this high before I even begin. And that's truly what it's all about, is being on that level of energy, which again, anyone can access in their own unique way. And music truly is a main catalyst for this, is putting on something that's going to make you feel emotion or remind you of someone past, or something that, putting on music that really just puts you in that feel-good zone. That's what music is there for.
Mm-hmm. And you're pretty intense, I'm going to tell you, because as you start to talk about the music and how and the music that inspires you for your different events, the energy is just going through the roof. It's actually making my energy hum.
Oh, isn't that awesome? Yes. It's amazing. Just even speaking it into existence does the trick,
Yeah, it's great. And so, I could see so many great things coming for you. I mean, you're such a beautiful soul and such a wonderful person. What's on the docket for you next? I know you've got these great events coming up in September. You're going to be in Texas, California, and New York, going out throughout the year.
Yeah.
Are you going to be doing different events next year? Maybe some trainings. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, that's a very good question. I sort of don't believe that you can certify someone to do that. I really feel that it's an innate thing that happens naturally. So I won't be doing that, but I do hold workshops ever so often, usually once or twice a year, that I show people, without putting rules on it, how you can sort of tune into your own sense of intuition, or if you do have a mediumistic ability, that will shine through as well. So I do that usually about twice a year, and just being at a public event as well, and being in the energy of it, you usually can recognize for yourself if you're having, an emotional experience with what's coming through, or you feel your body vibrating. Those are all indications that there is something else going on besides the norm. So I do this all the time. I I travel, every few weeks actually all over the place. So what's coming up for me in September is I'm going to be in Texas. I believe it's the 9th of September in Dallas, and then I'm going to be in San Jose at the end of the month in September, California. And then I'm going to be in New York in October, both sort of in the city and then also upstate New York. So yeah, I'm always going somewhere, and I'm just thrilled to be able to spread that awareness. And it's always a beautiful opportunity, usually very filled venues. So I'm very grateful for that. And Spirit always comes through, and they always sort of in their own way change lives that need to be changed in that moment. So that's what my focus is.
Oh, it's easy to see, Bill. It really is.
Yeah.
And so where can our listeners connect with you and be part of your community so they can learn more about your events and different things that you have going on?
Well, thank you. Yes, I'm on Facebook. I have a public page there that I primarily use to sort of have daily inspiration with people all around the world and just to kind of inform them. So that's on Facebook. It's Psychic Medium Bill Phillips. And then I also have a website as well, and that's just my name. It's billphillips.com. And Phillips is spelled a little bit differently than you would normally think. It has one L and two P's, so it's Phillipps. So billphillips.com. And that will have my my calendar of events, news coming up, media that I've done, testimonials, things of that nature. And also if they wanted to get a private reading, there's a form on there as well that they can fill out.
And move forward. And, of course, we don't want to forget, they can visit any major retailer and pick up your book, Expect the Unexpected. Yeah. So, yeah, and it'll be part of the Moments with Marianne book club. So,
awesome. That's wonderful.
Well, Bill, thank you so much for taking the time to be on the show with us here today.
Well, why, thank you. It was a pleasure.
Oh, what a joy it's been. We're going to pause here for a quick break, and we'll be right back after these messages.
Internationally recognized and award-winning author Judy Goodman works and teaches outside the box of limited thinking. Working with people from every walk of life, her goal is to empower you to be the best you can be, no matter what the challenge is. Born with the gift of seeing beyond our normal vision, she has an extraordinary gift of working with every challenge. Teaching beyond conventional wisdom, her work is described as life-changing. Visit judygoodman.com. That's judygoodman.com.
Have you ever had the sense that your thoughts might actually be doing something? Ancient secrets of manifesting have been masterfully revealed in the award-winning book Manifesting 123 by Ken Elliott. For the first time, the author's experiences and stories in this book describe exactly how your thoughts can create anything. You've been doing this all your life, but it's never been fully explained for you until now. Visit manifesting123.com for more information today. Manifesting123.com.
Ben Wexler is a gifted leadership development and strategy consultant for professionals who want to transform their organizations and careers. Through a uniquely personalized set of processes, participants discover their unique knowledge, how to leverage that knowledge and experience, and then put it all together with a global strategy. You're more valuable, your organization is more valuable, and the change is viral. Contact Ben at 630-881-1074, 630-881-1074.
Welcome to Moments with Marianne. I'm so excited to be introducing our next guest. He's none other than Andy Dooley, and he's here today to talk to us about quite a few things, but we're going to start with vibration activation. So welcome to the show, Andy.
Hey, Marianne. Hello, and hello, listeners.
Hey, it's so great to have you here.
It's great to be had.
Okay, so I've got to ask, what is this vibration activation? What's that all about?
All right. So for you and the listeners, I've got some real nuggets here that I want to give you so you can really, after this call or listening to this, you'll really be able to walk away with some practical tools that you can use immediately in your life to turn things around or just to take it to the next level, wherever you're at with your situation.
Okay, so it doesn't matter if, my business is going bad or there's not enough money in my bank account or my car needs to be fixed or I need a new boyfriend or at least a good boyfriend. It could be any of those things, right?
Anything that's going on, because anything and everything that's happening in your life is coming to you based on the vibration that you're putting out into the universe. And so vibration activation is all about learning how to activate a new vibration within you so that way you can attract the things that you want or that have been eluding you. Because you know how sometimes it is, Marianne, where you're wanting something, you're trying everything, but it's just not showing up?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. And also, I'm big on uncovering the mistakes because I realize, there have been a lot of mistakes I've made, a lot of mistakes my clients make, and I've come up with the 13 biggest manifesting mistakes that we all make and how to fix them. So I'd like to let the listener know. First, I'm going to give you four words that I want you and everybody listening to this call to write down, and then I'm going to tell you how vibration activation was born.
Cool.
So the first four words are feeling first, manifestation second. Feeling first, manifestation second. This, in my opinion, is kind of like the holy grail, the end all and be all for understanding why some stuff comes and why some comes easy, why it comes hard, why it eludes us. The profoundness behind those four words, feeling first, manifestation second, is you must understand that how you feel, how you really honestly feel. A lot of people aren't honest with how they're really feeling. So when you really get honest and pay attention to how you're really feeling throughout your day, that's how you're attracting. So if things are hit or miss, it's because you're feeling like it's working, it's not working, what am I doing wrong? Your focus is all over the place. So you want to learn how to consistently get into the feeling of your desires. So you got to start feeling as if they're already in your life. Even when you look to reality and your bank account looks like crap, your body is not doing what you want it to do, your children or your spouse or your partner or the person you're dating is all over the place, you've got to get into the consistent feeling of appreciation, of gratitude, of feeling of it's working, a feeling of happiness, and then the manifestations will come.
Okay, is this a big shift for a lot of people, or is this something they can do really quickly?
They can do it right now listening to this call. Right now, you and I can get into the feeling place of something that we want to have happen. So think of right now, what is something you want to have happen? And then now get into the feeling as if it's already happened. Like you just got confirmation. Maybe you just got an email or a text message from somebody and they said, it's a go. We're on. It's happening. Or the money's just been deposited into your account. We can all use an extra $1,000, $10,000. Imagine what that would feel like if you just got notification that $10,000 was just deposited in your bank account. You'd be like, woo! Feel that feeling.
I'm sure a lot of people would be doing the happy dance, right?
Right? So imagine right now if that person you're wanting to date or work something. Maybe you got a problem with somebody right now. There's a big conflict. Imagine the conflict to resolve. Imagine you got a hot date this weekend. Imagine you got a new client. Imagine you just got 10,000 more subscribers. Like, that's the feeling. Now, it can sound woo-woo, I know, but everything that's coming into your life is based on the feeling and the vibration that you're putting out. Everything's vibrating energy. So it's feeling first, manifestation second. You've got to start feeling it now consistently. Because I know people will go, but I do feel it. Not consistently. Because if you were feeling it consistently, it would be in your life. You wouldn't even be listening to this program right now. Because you'd be busy, doing your thing.
They'd still be missing out, though, because you're really good at this.
Right. Thank you. Thank you. So I want to let the listener know, and I want to share my story real quick with you of how this thing came out and how I was in the depths of despair and how vibration activation was born. So it was back in 2007. I'm lying in my bed. I'm in pain. My lower back has gone out. My whole life has become a train wreck, really. And I am lost and confused. I'm like, how did this happen to me? I'm lying in bed. I'm in physical pain. I'm in financial pain. I'm broke. I owe the IRS. I have credit card debt. And I thought I'd figured it all out. I'm heartbroken. And all these dreams I've been working on crashed and burned, and I've been going to the seminars and reading the books and attending the workshops. Mm-hmm. And here I was in 2007 at the worst, lowest point in my life. And I started to play the blame game because this wasn't my fault. I didn't create this train wreck. So of course, Marianne, I blame my mom, right? She's the one, right? Can you, I can't blame my mom. So then I don't go much further than that. I go, you know what? You know whose fault this is? It's Mike's fault. My brother, Mike.
Oh, yeah. You can blame him,
Right, but I can't blame it. I realize, this is not going to help me. So I look in the mirror, and you know whose fault this is? Deepak Chopra.
Okay, well that makes sense then,
Totally makes sense. Yep. So I realize I'm not going to improve my life if I don't take responsibility for it. I can't play the blame game and get out of my situation. So it's my fault. I take full responsibility for it. And I go on a mission. I am on a serious mission that I haven't been on before in my life. And I am going to figure out this manifesting thing. Because it's been a mystery to me and everybody else, right? At times it works, other times it doesn't. And I realize there can be no mastery if it's a mystery. Right? Yeah. You can't master something if it's a mystery. If it's a moving target, a target you can't even see, how the hell are you ever going to hit a target you can't see and it keeps moving? So I set out on a mission to recommit myself to being a student, to studying law of attraction, meditation, visualization, chakras, EFT, NLP, you name it, I studied it. I bought a book on it, read it, did it, practiced it. And I still found it was still hit or miss. Like there wasn't a simple formula that I could use. And I realized back then that what got me where I was not going to get me where I wanted to be. Because I wanted to become a life coach. I wanted to become a speaker and an author, travel the world. And at the time I was not doing that. And it seemed like a crazy, far-fetched dream. And because I figured this manifesting thing out, and because I figured out what the manifesting mistakes are, I was able to apply it in my life and turn my life around. And now today, I am truly living the life of my dreams. I'm traveling the world, speaking, doing life coaching, doing, radio interviews like this with you, Marianne. And I remember writing down 3 things back then. I said, 1, I want to become a professional speaker and an author. Boom. Today I'm living that. 2, I wrote down, I want to have my own program, and I want to be a life coach. Boom, I'm doing that. 3rd thing I wrote down is I said, I want a multi-million-dollar home in the Rocky Mountains. Today, I have a multi-level home with a view of the Rocky Mountains.
Sometimes that's even better,
Right. hey, I'm getting there. I'm on the way,
yeah.
right? It's a work in progress. We're all a work in progress. We all have got dreams and desires we're working to. A lot of us can relate to having dreams come true and then dreams not come true. So I love the journey. I love the process of sharing, you know, these tools with you and the listeners of this program. Thanks for listening. And so one of the big things I uncovered with vibration activation is the power of focus. Oh, my God. Our focus is so powerful, Marianne. What you focus on, you're going to feel. That's so important to know. Most people overlook that and go off on a tangent looking for problems they don't have. Like, if you just fix your focus problem, if you did nothing but listen to this focus, it fixed your focus and got into the feeling of your desires before they showed up, your life would be magical. So focus, right? We can relate to, can you relate, Marianne? Today we all have so many things bombarding us. Our phones going off, text messages, meetings, deadlines, commitments, the kids, the spouse, the travel, getting the company off the ground, being consistent, writing, doing whatever it is you do. Our focus is under attack. We all got some form of ADHD, some right? ADD. Wow.
Yeah. There's just so much coming at us. It's like sometimes it just feels like it's difficult to even try to focus because, there's all these apps and all these people connecting and phone calls and text messages and you name it,
Oh, yeah, yeah. So I realized in my life what was messing me up was my focus. And I kept focusing on what I wanted, and then I'd focus on what I didn't want. Because remember, I was financially broke, and every day I woke up and I had a choice. What am I going to focus on today? Am I going to focus on, the woulda, coulda, shoulda, and how come it happened to me, and I'm heartbroken, and I'm in debt, and I owe the IRS, and I thought I figured it out, and it doesn't work. I could have focused on that and had plenty of people to commiserate with, or I could focus on where I'm going, on creating products, on becoming a speaker, becoming a life coach. And I chose to focus on what I wanted and where I was going. Now, I didn't deny what had happened. I owned it. I honored it. I felt all the emotions of anger, depression, jealousy, rage. I felt it all. And I honored it. And then I said, all right, I kept moving in the direction I wanted to go. I kept having to focus. Like every day, every hour on the hour, we got to refocus, right? Every 25 minutes, I usually use the Pomodoro technique to focus my mind. Like I set the timer. Airplane mode is my new best friend. It's been my best friend for years now to get shit done. Because if you're in the middle of writing, doing something, making a video, and your phone beeps or dings, you're going to check it. And now you're distracted. So I put my phone on airplane mode, 25-minute sessions, totally no distractions, and I get stuff done. And man, I get stuff done. And then I can check, if I'm expecting a call or somebody, might need something, I can check, and then I determine, is that important? Do I need to respond to that right now or not? And boom, go back into airplane mode, 25 minutes, get stuff done. So, a little tangent there, but that's a helpful productivity tip.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you shared that. I'm just so glad that you shared that with us because you are one of the most powerful change makers I have ever met. So having this information and these insights from you is going to help so many people. And of course, everyone wants to go to your website and join your community, be part of your community so they can keep that momentum going,
Yeah, thank you. For those listening, if you want to be 3 times better at manifesting 1 year from now, raise your hand. You can imagine everyone's raising their hand.
Everyone's raising their hand right now. See that?
Wow. So for absolutely free, you can go to andydooley.com, and each week I'll send you an inspirational, uplifting video that'll help you dial in your manifestation and become a focused master, help you better with your time, raise your vibration, get you into the feeling first of whatever it is your desires are. So anyway, focus is really big. And so when you fix your focus problem, you fix a lot of problems automatically. Now, the negative train of thought, this is one of the biggest mistakes that we all make, is we let that negative train of thought, you know the story we've got, I'm not good enough, or who's going to listen to me, or I don't fit in, or I'm too old, it's too late, it's not going to work, I can't keep up, I can't figure it out. Like, that's a story. And if you keep telling yourself that story, it will destroy your life, it will derail you, and you'll be on the bitch train. I call it the bitch train and the bush train. You got a choice. Which train are you going to ride? And so when you catch yourself, here's a tool I want to give you. When you catch yourself riding that complaint train, focusing on everything that's wrong, telling that story of lack and limitation, you got to say, write this down, stop, cancel, clear. Get the fear out of here.
Ooh, that's good.
Stop, cancel, clear, get the fear out of here. Say it and say it and say it, and don't let that fear consume you. Don't buy into your lack and limitations of it's too old, it's too late, I can never figure it out, I'm ADD, I'm a procrastinator, I'm stubborn, I'm stupid. Stop that story. It's not the truth. It's a lie. Stop selling yourself short. So that's a tool. I use that with my clients. I do it in my workshops. Just today, this morning, I had a call with a client, and she shared part of her story. It was the running out of time story. I don't have enough time, and I should be further along. And why is it taking so long? Stop, cancel, clear. Right? That's just your mind trying to protect you and shake you up. But you got to be bigger than that and realize, wait, it's the feeling. The proof is in the feeling. Just because you don't see the evidence yet, that doesn't mean it's not happening. The evidence is the feeling. If you can consistently feel good. So when I was turning my life around, there was a mountain of debt I had to pay off. But I didn't get consumed in that feeling. I got into the feeling of prosperity, the feeling of it's working, it's coming together. I'm on track. The debt is getting smaller. I'm making payments. And pretty soon the debt disappeared, and my new career became a reality.
And you're definitely the person to speak to that and tell people, because you've been there, you've tried the stuff that doesn't work, you've refocused, you looked at everything, said, how can I make this better and what can I do to change it? And you're a living example of how making those shifts that you're talking about here can make such a huge difference in your life.
Right. These tools will make a huge difference in your life. How are we doing on time?
We've got a few minutes, so we've got enough time to do whatever you want.
Okay. Well, real quick, I want to give the listener a tool. It's one of my best tools on the call. And if they want more information, of course, they can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. I've got free videos on YouTube. Andy Dooley, just type in my name on the YouTube search engine. Got lots of free videos for you. But here's the tool. It's step 2 of vibration activation. So step 1 is you got to stop the negative train of thought, and you say, stop, cancel, clear, get the fear out of here. And then you have to ask a question. It's scientifically proven that if you ask the question, what am I grateful for, or what could I appreciate, it will change your focus, and it'll get you into a better vibrational feeling place. So after you stop the negative train of thought, ask the question, what am I grateful for? And you got to ask it and feel it and say it, and then you'll shift into a better feeling place where you can receive the solutions, insights, ideas, answers. So step 2 of vibration activation is really powerful. So we've all been to the workshop and seminar where somebody, the teacher, author, speaker says, hey, tell a new story, right? We've all heard that. You've got the old story, tell a new story. And people do that, but here's where they make a big mistake, and this is where I found the missing piece that I was able to really turn my life around. I learned to tell the transition story. So write that down, transition story. Don't tell the new story, because what people do, they go from the old story of lack, limitation, I don't have enough money, it's hard, people don't want to pay me what I'm worth, and then they go to a new story. I'm a money magnet. I love money and money loves me. I'm an abundant child of the universe. And your brain says, bullshit, you're broke. Too big of a jump. You can't go that far. So you've got to say beginning, becoming, and allowing. That's how you transition from where you are right now to where you want to be. And you're always going to be transitioning. You're always going to be reaching for some new horizon, new destination. So you say, I'm beginning to move forward. I'm beginning to believe. I'm beginning to follow through. I'm beginning to focus on what I want. I'm beginning to feel better about my situation. I'm beginning to know I can turn this around. I'm beginning to focus on what I want. I'm beginning to think better thoughts. I'm becoming more confident. I'm becoming more courageous. I'm allowing myself to be guided. I'm allowing myself to have fun. I'm allowing things to work out. Those are general thoughts that'll shift your vibe from where you are to where you want to be. It's a transition story you tell yourself, and it works. I use it. My clients use it. I use it for playing guitar. I use it for new projects I'm working on. I talk myself into transitioning into a better place, a better belief of what I'm capable of, and then I start feeling it, vibrating it, boom, feeling first, then the manifestation happens second.
Mm. And that makes it so much easier to do that where your brain's not fighting with you, you know?
Yes. Yeah, your brain, right, you're not fighting with your brain. Your brain's like, okay, that's doable. I believe we can become, we can begin, we can allow. And then, of course, you can come up with your own thoughts. Now, another big mistake that people make is not enjoying the meantime. This is probably one of the biggest mistakes I see people making. And what I mean, the meantime is where you are right now. It's in the now. So people curse their now oftentimes. They hate their job. They hate their situation. They don't like the fact that they have to work so hard or have to pay so many bills or have to deal with somebody in their life that's negative. So what you got to do, it sounds counterintuitive, but your situation can't get any better until you feel better about your situation. Your situation can't get any better, whatever that is right now, job, career, family, health, your body. It can't get any better until you start feeling better about it. Because what we do, we think, well, give me a better job, give me a healthy body, and then I'll feel better. It's feeling first, manifestation second. You've got to start feeling better about yourself, your job, your situation, your relationship, and then it can get better. So how do you do that? By enjoying the meantime. You've got to go, so here's the phrase. If you enjoy the meantime, it'll be a short time. If you do not enjoy the meantime, it will be a long time.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, that's such great inspiration, and these are just, these are wonderful tips to start implementing in your life right now to make those changes.
Yeah, it is. So that comes back to like the feeling. You got to start. So that's how I turn my life around. Every day, like I have a morning routine. A lot of people talk about it, and I'm going to reinforce it to the listener now. Like my morning routine consists of, first thing I do when I wake up, I go to the bathroom and then I meditate. Meditate for 15 minutes, and then I journal. Then I drink hot tea, and then I'll read something. I'll do something. I do not check email. I do not check my phone. Go to sleep with your phone on airplane mode. Do not wake up and have your messages waiting for you, because as soon as you do, you start reacting to other people's stuff, and now you're in reacting mode instead of creative mode or getting connected mode. So it's so important that you have morning time. Even if you only got 10 minutes in the morning, get connected that 10 minutes. You can do 5-minute meditation, 5 minutes of deep breathing, 5 minutes of focusing on your goals or setting intentions. If you've got more time, that's even better. But your morning routine is key. Tim Ferriss said, if you win the morning, you win the day. You've got to win the morning. You've got to set your morning sets the tone for the rest of the day.
Now, Andy, thank you so much for sharing these insights and these wonderful tips that we can start using today with us. Where can our listeners, and unfortunately we're kind of at the end of our time here, where can our listeners connect with you again so that they can not only pick up your book, the 13 biggest manifesting mistakes and how to fix them. I'll eventually get that right. But where can they connect with you?
Yeah, definitely. Get on my email list. It's the best thing. I promise you'll be a better manifester in probably 30 days. But after a year, you'll be blazing trails. So go to andydooley.com, sign up for my emails, go to YouTube. You can find me there, Facebook. Also, I'd like to offer your listeners, listen, if you've listened this long, special deal. You can go to my website. You can get vibration activation for half price by typing in the checkout. There's a special code I'll give you, gratitude 50, and it's for 50% off. So when you check out, you get the whole 9 hours of audio in depth, teaching you step by step how to activate the vibration, how to become confident and clear. You can you'll save time instead of going. You'll have that clarity and confidence. You'll save time because you won't have to keep going to workshop. You'll finally get it all in one place, and you'll save money too. So gratitude 50.
Gratitude 50. Oh, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us here today, Andy.
Oh, thank you for having me on and sharing me with your people.
Oh, thank you. Andy's one of my personal inspirations. Make sure to sign up for his community. Don't forget to sign up for a vibration activation using code gratitude50.
As we say goodbye to Andy Dooley, I'd like to thank everyone for taking the time to tune in today. And remember, make every moment count.
In a single moment, your life can change. Moments with Marianne is a transformative hour that covers an endless array of topics with the best of the best. Her guests are leaders in their fields, ranging from inspirational authors, top industry leaders, and business and spiritual entrepreneurs. Each guest is gifted and a true visionary, a recognized leader in her own work, and while teaching others to develop, refocus, and grow, Marianne will bring the best guest and sometimes a special surprise. Don't miss this. You never know just which moment will change your life forever. Moments with Marianne airs every Thursday, Friday, and Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Mountain Time. Make sure to tune in and visit momentswithmarianne.com for more information.